Hello friends, and welcome to your July energy reading. If you're new to my channel, I'm Jen Sway. I'm a soul whisperer as well as a certified life coach, and I'm here to help you come back home to yourself. So in July, let's see what is in store for you. We have 4 different tarot decks. We have first here the Mystical Cats tarot deck that's associated with the Tiger's Eye crystal. Number 2, we have the Spiritsong Animal Tarot deck that is associated with Howlite. Number 3, we have the Dreamy Moons Tarot, which has this beautiful rainbow fluorite on it. And number 4, we have the Child of the Universe Oracle deck, and this has the Amethyst crystal. So go ahead and take some time now to intuitively feel into which deck that you're drawn to, and then you can go to the timestamps down below and get your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose the Mystical Cats Tarot deck as well as Tiger's Eye. So what Tiger's Eye is telling me is that you are requiring some strength coming into this month. Maybe you've just gone through a big transition. Maybe you are going through a tough time. Perhaps you are actually going in the right direction that you want to be going, but it's just requiring a little bit more strength, some resilience. Maybe things are getting challenging and you just need to be reminded that you have the strength within you to go ahead and keep going, to create the life that you really want, to move past these challenges, to see the lessons that are within your day-to-day life and not necessarily the ones that are right in front of you, but kind of underlying this personal growth that you're experiencing through this transition or through your current situation is all here to develop strength and character, resiliency, both in your mentality, your emotional well-being, and your spirituality. So a lot of things already coming through for you, group number 1. Let's go ahead and see where you currently are in your life. So first card we have for you is Six of Sky. So the Six of Sky represents, so we have Six of Sky here, which represents this energy of leaving something chaotic behind you, leaving a fight that you know is no longer worth fighting for. Perhaps this is a career or a relationship, something that wasn't serving you, something that was making you feel a lot more chaotic in your life than you needed it to be, than you were, finding it worthy of. And for you, it's understanding like when it is to leave, like when it's a good time to call it a quits. And this being part of the sky suit, I'm also seeing for you that this could be dealing with your intellect. So something that has been bothering you a lot in your mind, something that you've been overthinking, it might be a sign that this is not something that is serving you and that it's time for you to let go. Whether this is cutting out somebody in your life, leaving a workplace, leaving behind even a paradigm of thought, but there is some type of chaos that you are not deciding that it is no longer worth it for you, and that you're going to save your energy for something that is. So let's get a little bit more clarity to see maybe what is that thing. And we have here the Three of Sky. So a lot of sky already coming through, and the sky represents your intellect, it represents your thoughts, it represents the ways in which our mind works. And the Three of Sky is kind of like this heartbreak, something that has been broken down, and I'm seeing for you, because this was pulled reverse, perhaps that this is something that you are getting over. So a heartbreak, a end of an era type of thing. We see like these 3 very mischievous cats here just knocking things down on the wall that were like pots and beautiful things, something that, they were so carefree about or careless about more so, and just let it break. So perhaps this is somebody who has broken your heart, who has taken you for granted. Perhaps this is a career path, or this could also be something within your mindset and your intellect and a way of thinking that is perhaps causing you more harm than good, making maybe you holding on to the past, holding on to even desires that you have for your future hopes and dreams that actually are not yours anymore, or that things have shifted, and you're seeing this like kind of release to it, or even blockage of feeling those feelings. So allow yourself to release whatever it is that is no longer for you. And again, I'm seeing a lot of this being in your thoughts, in your mind. So whatever you can do that gives your mind ease and peace, that can be some guidance in how you can build this resiliency moving forward. Because while it's very, it's traditionally like strong in order to just like keep going and stuff, there's another level of strength that comes with knowing enough is enough, that something is no longer for you, that you don't need to suffer just for this like arbitrary prize that, like, you held on, you made it work or whatever. actually a lot of strength comes in also knowing when to let go. And I'm seeing that being really tied in for you this month. So the next card that we have for you is the Five of Sky. Again, another sky card. So I'm seeing a lot of overthinking, probably a lot of living in your head, and also that this could potentially be a solution for you moving forward in July is using your mind, using logic as a tool for you, but remembering that you also want to check in with how you feel, because this can also represent that there is some imbalance here where you're living too much in your head. So the Five of Sky is the card that comes before 6, right? And this is kind of the chaos that comes when there is, you feeling ostracized, you feeling like you don't belong, you feeling like you're different, you're unwanted, and that there can be a lot of critical voices coming through, whether these are your own or whether these are from other people. So if you feel criticized, you feel small, you feel like you don't belong, and you are being kind of ousted of your own home, sort of, so to speak. And remember here too that your home could be your soul, like your own mind, your own heart, your own spirit. If you feel like you are losing touch with that sense of self that you have and letting other people kind of start to dictate, what you should be doing or what you need to be doing, that is a sign that there is, there's time to leave those relationships, kind of leave what is not for you anymore. I believe this card was pulled reversed, although I can't remember. But if this was reversed, like, it's a very similar energy to other reversals, where this could be something that's blocked in your life. Maybe you're not letting yourself see that these people who are criticizing you or these voices in your head are not your own, and you're actually adopting them as your own, which is inaccurate, because then you'd be living your life according to how somebody else might want to live it, according to somebody else's timeline for you, according to somebody else's projection of you. And maybe you even trying to hold on to these relationships to try to be like, no, I do belong, don't kick me out, I am worthy. But that is in turn rejecting yourself. So I'm seeing that might be coming from a relationship aspect, and that it's time for you to leave, and it could be difficult for you to release, but it is going to be for your highest and best self. And let's see why that is. So we have we have a whole stack. So we're just going to take this last one that came out. And again, a sky card, lots of thoughts. So we have the Two of Sky here. We see a lot of things in the day-to-day that are going on. Okay, so a lot of day-to-day chaos, relationships. What are other people thinking of me? How do I feel around other people? Do you feel safe? Can you feel like you can release and leave? And then this Two of Sky is almost like a very lonely card of this cat and in between these two flags, kind of starting this new path. One of the things that I see here with the number 2 is that this is all about duality, right? This is about two things coming together and you standing in between both lanes. So kind of like that there's maybe some decision that you need to make for yourself, whether this is what direction you want your relationships to go into, what direction do you want your career to go into. And one of the first things that comes up for me too with this is like kind of this fight of, do you want to be by yourself? Do you want to be single? Do you want to be in a partnership? Is this the person that you want to continue living with, continue being with? Is this person not somebody that you want to be with? Regardless of your relationship status, there's this kind of like energy of you need to come back to what are your intentions and then start building from there and question that for yourself. I see with the moon here too, kind of being blocked, but with like a sliver of light, that your intuition is starting to get clearer, but that you need to give yourself that space to feel into it a little bit more to know where you want to go. So I want to also see more of what you can expect in July. And we have the Ace of Fire. Okay, so this is a really interesting change here. So we had a lot of overthinking going on, a lot of living in your mind, to switch to the Ace of Fire. I'm actually going to put this over here because it feels more resonant to like where you're going. So the Ace of Fire is as a new suit. It's all dealing with passion, with intuition, with creating your own magic in your life. The fire kind of being this death and rebirth as well, of like destruction of what no longer is for you, whatever is weak, and then bringing in this new energy that is like going to give you this fertile soil. So the Ace of Fire is really like this powerful new energy, creative energy, passionate energy for you to be able to move forward in July. So I really love this for you. I do want to get more clear on perhaps what is going to ensue from that. So like, let's say you follow a little bit more of where your intuition is driving you. We have the Eight of Earth. So now we're seeing like a shift. Okay, so I'm actually going to put all 4 of these over here. And with this new beginning, we have the Ace of Fire. So in this new shift now, we go from living in your head and having to live within this chaos and learning these lessons of releasing, learning these lessons of planning and creating kind of more structure, using logic as a tool for yourself versus living from it, to we're going to shift into now feeling also into our intuition and making decisions from that place, into doing what is best for our highest self. And we see Eight of Earth here. And Eight of Earth, this was reversed, but this is a card that represents kind of creating, finding a mentor of sorts, following somebody, being a student again. So letting yourself learn again, letting yourself dive into a passion that you might have and find a teacher of sort. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting here. So this being reversed, it could also be that you are ready to showcase more of your own skills and be the teacher to lead a group of people. And another thing I want to mention here is that this is happening in the evening time, and the number 8 kind of being this number of abundance, of continuous growth, and Earth being specifically around your material life. So financial well-being, your physical environment that you are in. I'm seeing that there is going to be a shift for you. So whether you are moving in a new direction, like literally moving places to live, perhaps traveling, perhaps learning new skill sets, like learning a new job, or switching careers, getting a coach of some sort, finding a apprenticeship or some type of mentor to help guide you into this new direction that you want to go, that you're being intuitively led. Like maybe this is also dealing with like your career, and you know that you want to change, you want something that's more passionate, more fulfilling, more career creative, more satisfying for yourself, and you're actually in this place where you need to go back to school, you need to learn, you need to have somebody to help guide you. Don't resist this. This is a great new place for you to be. Because what I'm saying with this being pulled reverse is that could be something that is blocking you from moving forward, is that you can't see this logical way of how things are going to work out. But when you allow yourself to collaborate with people, to reach out to people, to humble yourself, know that you're always continuously learning and growing, you're able to fuel this fire of creativity, of passion, of this new chapter in your life. So let me find, okay, I want to pull one final card. We have 2 for you. And we have both reversed, but we have the Priest, number 5 of the Major Arcana, as well as the 8 of Sky. So these are really interesting because they go hand in hand with what we see here. So overall, for this set, what I'm seeing of like where you're at and like how your energy is moving into July is that you feel trapped, right? You feel trapped. You feel like that there's like this branch that's on you. You feel like you can't really move. You're constricted. You're thwarting all over the place, and it feels like really intense. And this is specifically, again, a lot of times in your head. Like this, it's not to like be gaslighting and be like, oh, your problems aren't really problems. But this card kind of holds this energy that you are trapped because you're not allowing yourself to slow down, to be still, and to think your way out, right? To give yourself this space to just like, if you just stopped trying to run away from your problems, trying to solve your problems, and you just took a moment to reflect on where you are and where you need to be, you can easily see that you have the skills, that you have the space, you have the opportunity to just get out of your situation, and that it's not as dire as you think. But I'm seeing that being blocked for you as this was pulled reversed. But if we were to kind of bring all of this together of like where you are and the energy that you're going into, is to remind yourself that you're not trapped, that you are fully capable of creating this change, but you have to be able to see it for yourself. Stop trying to wait for somebody else to come save you, and also stop waiting for things to get easier, because they're not going to get easier until you allow yourself to tap into your own power and move yourself out of the situation that you're in. As far as how we can move forward, the Priest, which is also known as the Hierophant, in traditional tarot really plays into this energy of finding some teacher and being a student again, because this is rooted in tradition. The priest is rooted in traditional beliefs, traditional paths. This could be, again, like you finding a mentor, you going back to school, perhaps in your relationships, finding, dating without the apps, or even being in a relationship. Perhaps you're contemplating marriage and you want to talk to some people about what that looks like, family even. But there is this idea of coming back to tradition. Now, this being reversed, this could be a few things. One of, and I want you to just feel into yourself of seeing where's the shift that you're needing to go, because you could be resisting finding routine for yourself, going in this direction that might seem might be like an ego hit to yourself to admit that you need help, but is necessary. Or this could also be that you're leaning too far into tradition. That is less resonant, actually, now that I say it out loud. What's really coming through is actually, now you need to come back to your basics, your habits, your routines. And with this as well, whatever is fiery, passionate, and creative, whatever brings that life force for you, you actually need to create more discipline around that. That's another thing that this card represents, is the discipline of following tradition. So whether this is daily journaling for you, a daily meditation, or something that is meditative, creating every single day, being more disciplined in your relationships as well, and showing up with the energy that you want to be treated with. Whatever that is for you, there is this growth and coming back to finding somebody to help guide you as you move through this energy. And again, if that doesn't resonate, you could be the teacher, and this could be that you need to communicate for yourself what it is that you want, how you want things to go, whether this is in your relationship or your career. So this is everything that I'm receiving so far from your spread, but I want to give you one final takeaway, one message from the universe that they want you to know about your current situation. And we have caution, keep your guard up. So this is something that you just need to know about your situation, and kind of what things might be coming up for you. So the spider here represents this keeping your guard up, that there is this web of transformation, and that I do want to point out, one of the things that comes up for me is a web of lies. And I think when you are so in your head, it can be really difficult to discern what is true and what is your intuition, what is a fear versus what is just, again, intuitively the truth of your situation. Is it right for you to trust somebody, and are they actually trustworthy based off of what they say, and how they, or is it different from who they have been, who they have shown you to be? And then also, in a way, trusting your own mind of playing into illusions that may be rooted in scarcity of how you can't do it, or how there's not enough, whether it's enough people, there's not enough time, there's not enough opportunities or resources, whatever it is. Be cautious of those things too, because that can get you caught up in a web of lies and illusion that keeps you from moving forward. So just be aware of that, and especially in your thoughts, and then also in your future, try to remain optimistic while also being grounded in this reality of knowing what are the dangers that are available, or what are the risks, and kind of being able to mesh all those things together for yourself. This also may play into why you need to find a mentor or some type of authority figure, some type of coach, somebody that you can kind of trust and talk through these issues with, so that you can feel good about the decisions that you are making. So friends, I hope you enjoyed your July energy reading, and that this gives you some clarity and insight into what is to come for you. If you want to go deeper into what is coming up for you specifically, and how you can meet yourself where you're at to overcome these challenges, overcome doubts and fears, and get really connected to your intuition, so that you can ensure that you are living a life that is true to you and not wasting your time or your energy or your efforts, then you can go ahead and book a one-on-one reading with me down in the description box. It's going to have my link to my one-off sessions. And in that, I'm going to take you through a guided meditation that's going to ground your energy, help you feel connected to your intuition, and open up your third eye so that you can access that clear line of communication that may have been muddled between you and your spirit, your energy, and the universe. And I will also be there to help interpret whatever messages come up for you, to give you spiritual insight as well as pragmatic guidance into how you can create the mindset and the mentality to move forward. So all that's going to be down in the description box below. So until next time, friends, stay well. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your July reading. So today we have Howlite for you as well as the Spiritsong tarot deck. So with Howlite, what I'm seeing here for you is that you are in need of some perspective. Maybe you need some help transmuting some pain into clarity, into some confidence. This is a really great crystal to calm down anxiety, to help to eliminate pain and anger and stress, and instead look to new perspectives, new knowledge, new learnings to help you grow. So I'm seeing a lot of that coming in for you for July. And let's go ahead and see more of what is to come. Where are you currently at with your energy as we move into a new month? So we have strength reversed. So this is the elephant spirit here. And we see courage and endurance. So number 8 in strength, this is the phase that comes. This is like part of the journey that comes after you have learned that you have power, you have the ability to create great things if you just believe in yourself, if you are able to tap into your own inner wisdom, also create discipline and all this stuff. It's kind of like strength is the culmination point of like, okay, you have learned all this stuff about yourself, and now it is your time to just go after what it is that you want with the courage and the endurance that you can go ahead and create that. So this being reversed shows me that you're maybe not seeing yourself. Maybe there's something going on in your life currently that is making you feel weak, making you feel impatient, making you doubt yourself perhaps, and question whether or not you should just give up. So I want to get more clarity into what area of life this might be coming through for you, where you might feel this like pain. So we have 2 cards who I wanted to pop out. We have the Page of Shells as well as the Ace of Acorns. So the Page of Shells is going to be the Page of Cups. This is going to be like you being very novice in your emotions, being almost ignorant in emotions, but not necessarily in a bad way. And this shows this frog spirit is associated with intuition and inspiration. So for you, I think there's like this new budding potential and this optimism in something that you are feeling intuitively drawn to, something that you are inspired by. So leaning into your emotions here, there's these kind of like budding new emotions, as well as the Ace of Acorns, which is the Ace of Wands in traditional tarot of fire. I know acorn seems like it should be earth, but it is actually fire. So we have the Ace of Acorns, which is signaled here by the ram spirit. And this means creative force and confidence. Those are the 2 words that are associated with this. So we have a lot of this energy of this newness coming through, inspiration coming through, creativity coming through, as well as confidence and needing courage and strength and endurance. So I'm seeing this also being something that you want to birth into this world. Maybe you have your own business, maybe you're switching careers, perhaps you are just like a point of transition in your life in general, where you're kind of like wanting to redesign your life and go after something that is sparking your joy, sparking your inspiration that we see from this frog spirit here. And what the ram wants you to know is that in this area, I'm getting a lot of that, like this is probably dealing with your career. It could be with relationships, but I'm seeing like in your career, needing this spark of inspiration, needing some more creativity to come through, and needing the strength and courage to go after it. These so far play all really well into a full story. So we have your personal energy kind of being this frog spirit, where there is this new creative spirit and all this potential that's coming through. The area of your life currently going into July, needing to tap into your strength, needing to know what is true strength, and that true strength comes from within, from you not giving up, from you having the endurance to keep going. Strength doesn't come from just having the result. It's how you have built how you've built your entire journey to get that result. And the Ace of Acorns here, kind of the day-to-day of your current situation or going into July, needing to create more confidence within yourself. So whether this is you getting into affirmations, you doing some morning visualization, you practicing your creative flow, I'm seeing that there is this kind of structure to all of July. And I just want to see what else do we have for you. So we have the High Priestess reversed. And the High Priestess is associated with the Lynx spirit. And we see the Lynx here kind of at the top of her perch, looking down. Very intuitive. It's nighttime. There is this moon here. And the High Priestess is all about intuition. It's all about your secret knowledge. And I'm seeing here for you that there's potential blocker for you. And this might be, again, where like this Howlite comes in of like there's some need to be like transmuting something here. So whether this is your fears, your doubts, perhaps some pain that you've gone through, some stresses that you've gone through, there is this need to tap into your higher intuition and to know that these challenges, to discern whether or not these challenges are for your highest good and for you to have the endurance, this creative force, this confidence to keep moving forward because it is something that you know in the long term will pay off, or whether or not this is something that you don't want to do. Maybe there's certain aspects in whatever project that you're currently working on that you want to let go of that is going to help you simplify your time, simplify your life, allow you to make decisions better. I think this question is coming up for you to ask yourself, what is the simplest thing that you can do today to get to where you want to be, as well as what is the thing that's going to make everything else unnecessary or easier if you were to do that thing. So kind of this question of asking yourself, like, what are the gears that are stuck or aren't moving as fast, and how can you just put some WD-40 on that and make things flow again? And it's also probably a lot simpler than you think. So we see here the Two of Shells, union and harmony. So I'm seeing this for you as like with your feelings, right? How can you partner with your feelings? How can you partner with what it is that you want and the dedication, the action that you need to get there? How can you partner with what it is that you believe about yourself, and then also what is the truth that you are cultivating? There's this duality here, as well as I'm getting an energy of subconscious and consciousness coming together. I'm seeing a lot of love and partnership as well. So maybe leaning into your friendships, your partner, people who you care about that are going to help you tap into this belief that you need for yourself. This is a very like heartfelt card, a very like relationship based card too. I think these are pigeons as well. But these bird spirits coming together, this like flying light creatures that can flow together, fly together. And then of course this being a shell card, which is the Suit of Cups, this dealing with all of your emotions. So I'm seeing this being a key factor for you moving into July. Perhaps there's going to be a new partnership for you, a new relationship that is in the horizons that is going to allow you to feel harmonious in your life. So check out for that, especially in your current relationships. If you are already with somebody, check in with yourself if you feel harmonious in that relationship, how you can create more harmony even, or maybe it's time to let those relationships that don't feel harmonious go so that you can make room for this harmony that is going to come through in the form of a person, in the form of a partner. And this could even be a business partner if you are somebody who is in business. So, okay, a lot of chaos just happened, but we have the Ace of Feathers as your next card. And the Ace of Feathers deals with mental clarity as well as foundations. So this is the Goat Spirit, and the Goat Spirit, this is being the first of the Feathers suit, which is dealing with air. It is originally the Swords card in traditional tarot. This Ghost Spirit we see is like very dreamy. It's very like, oh, there's like so much possibility almost in this world. And one of the things with this is like it's a new beginning. So a new beginning of thought, a new paradigm, a new idea. And with a lot of your beginning cards kind of being this creative force, this creative spirit, there seems to be a new project, a new career path, a new idea, direction that you want to take, maybe even a project in your business that you want to offer, a new offer that you want to create. And this is just reminding you to have that clarity of focus and to build the foundations for that so that you can just continue moving forward with it. And in this, what are the beliefs that you need to have in order to make this a success for you? That is the biggest thing that's coming through here for this. I want to see maybe what are some obstacles that might come in your way that you need to be aware of. And we see the wheel, and the wheel deals with the octopus spirit. Now this octopus, right, remember the octopus, it can have like a tentacle cut off and it will regrow, which is really interesting. And the wheel here represents change and possibility. So we see again a major arcana card, a big life theme, and 10 being the number of transition and also reducing down to the number 1, which is new beginnings, with our last card being the Ace of Feathers. I'm seeing that there's some continuity here happening as well, as you go through this new transition of this new idea that is in your mind as you build through these foundations. Also remember that you're going to need to let go of things in the past in order to make room for change, and that there is the cyclical nature of life. So whether it is failures and then going into success and then going into failures again, whether this is knowing and then going into not knowing, right? Having any new project that you come into, any new relationship that you create, there's always going to be this kind of tension, this back and forth of what it is that you know to be true, and then what is it that you're uncertain about that you don't have enough information. So there's going to be some decisions that you make from very clear intuition, from clarity, from like, yes, this is something that I really want. And then there's going to be some decisions that you make that we're not grounded so much in you believing that this is the right decision, but knowing that there is no such thing as right or wrong, but that you know you need to make decisions in order to make progress in life, in order to just get information, and that, you know, those decisions may feel more rocky, may not be so solid in your knowing, and that's okay, just because like everything is connected here. The cycles of life, the cycles of growth, the cycles of death, and that's just something that you need to look out for. It might be a challenge for you to see it in those ways in the moment, coming into July. It might be something that you are unwilling to let go of, like in your past self, like this past version of yourself or where you currently are at. But there is this need to let go of those things in order for you to create this new cycle that is always kind of just spiraling upwards, right? So you're all constantly in this movement and motion of life, and you're going to repeat potential mistakes, potential successes, potential failures, potential ways of thinking, but knowing that when those things come up, those are also opportunities for you to change your way of thinking so that you can operate from a new paradigm. So one last closing card of how all of this is tied together, perhaps like the karmic lesson that you are learning this month. We see the Magician. And I love the Magician. It is a beautiful card. This is the crow spirit here. And we see this like infinity on top of it, which is very indicative of like all past tarot cards, like the traditional tarot as well, that has this infinity sign, kind of this idea of like you have all this possibility that lives right above you, right outside of you. And for you, it is this learning that you have the power, you have the willpower and the creative ability in order to manipulate your circumstances, to take all the resources that you have access to create that of which you want. So this crow spirit is here as this guide for you. Look out for crows as a sign that you are in the right direction as well. And that the Magician is here to remind you that you have a lot more power in your life than you think, and do not give up on that. I think the Strength card and this card are kind of going hand in hand, as you know, this being the last card, this being the first card, as you know that you have the ability to be successful, to create whatever it is that you want. However, you're needing to remind yourself to be resourceful, to tap into your own critical thinking abilities and your problem solution abilities to create new solutions that maybe are things that you haven't tried yet, and stay open to new ideas, stay open to receiving, and look at things from different perspectives so that you can create the results that you want to create. That is everything that I have for you for this spread. Now, I do want to pull one last card for you that is going to help you tap into knowing whether or not you are in the right direction. I just realized I was shuffling those upside down. So we have for you patience. And this is a really beautiful card, as this is an action card. And patience as something that you do is really interesting, because this will allow you to also rest. So patience want you to know that there's a long road ahead, and that there are rewards that are awaiting you, but that you have to give yourself that grace that things are going to work out, to be in the daily action of what it is that you need to get done, those small little wins, and celebrate and see yourself for that, because these are all the steps that you are building in order to get to where you want to be. So just know that you are on the right track, that this new endeavor is in fact going to be something that serves you in the long run, that has you will be able to reap many rewards from, if you're able to stay the course and to not get discouraged in the face of impatience. So just know that for yourself going into July. Make sure you tap into your tool belt as well to grow this patience. But friends, this is everything that I've received for you for July. And if you enjoy this reading, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to go deeper into one area of your life or a general reading of your personal situation, whether this is in your money, your career, your relationships, your health and well-being, your friendships even, then you can go ahead and book a one-on-one private reading with me down in the description box below. In that 1 hour, it's extremely magical. You get to ground with your spirit, with the spirit of Earth and the cosmic consciousness that exists within us and outside of us, as well as using my guides and my intuition to help you create clarity around something that is going on in your life. A lot of people leave feeling just so much more confident, more connected to themselves. In general, they feel lighter. They feel like they can move with a lot more clarity, a lot more confidence, and it actually allows people to drop in and magnetize whatever it is that they want. So if you're looking for that type of energetic clearing, as well as some more guidance, insight, and the spiritual side of things, as well as some pragmatic advice of how to move forward in your life, then I definitely recommend that you book a reading with me. And again, that's going to be down in the show notes. Until next time, stay well. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your July tarot reading. You've chosen the Dreamy Moons tarot deck, as well as the Rainbow Fluorite. And so the Rainbow Fluorite is a great crystal to balance negative energies and to bring some more health and vitality back into your life. And this being said, I think for you in July, it's going to be very healing for you, very kind of you tapping into harmony, perhaps after some chaos that has ensued. And no worries, it has been a crazy, super fast year so far, but I'm starting to feel things slow down. So I'm also seeing for you perhaps this time in July to slow down, reset, reconnect with yourself. But I want to get more clarity into where is it that you currently are at with your energy moving into July. So we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a beautiful card. It is all about the beginnings of new feelings. It's kind of this youthful, optimistic energy that there's something new and exciting coming to your life. There's this goodness coming into your life. And I see these fishes jumping out of the cup, all these lotuses, and this magical feminine being. I think for you, one thing that I'm seeing is this reestablishing of the divine feminine self. So somebody who is just going to be in her receiving energy, being able to be very kind to herself, be able to use their intuition instead of just using something like logic to move forward. I'm seeing this beginning energy. So let me see more about what is it that you are beginning. Okay, well, we have the Ace of Cups. So we have two things here. We have the whole new suit of cups, and then we also have the Page of Cups here. So a lot of emotions for you. And this, could be dealing with the Rainbow Fluorite as well. Kind of just your emotional energy in July is going to be a really important piece of your life. So I think the way that this is coming through right now is that this is going to transcend all different areas of your life, whether it is your health, your relationship to yourself, your relationship to other people, romantic life, your career, your stability in how you feel about yourself, like your groundedness within yourself and others, all these things. I'm seeing that there's this new beginning that is very prosperous, very wealthy, and not just financial wealth, but your emotional wealth and your well-being. Now, this being reversed is really interesting, because I think the way that this is coming through is that maybe you have been denying the way that you feel. Maybe you have been not letting yourself drop into your feelings as much, or you have just started seeing the benefit of you letting your feelings guide you, trusting your emotions, trusting your intuition. And this is tapping into this new beginning of letting your feelings out more, expressing yourself more, expressing your truth more, whether this is with other people, with yourself, or in a career or work endeavor. And what we see here is we don't want to be blocking any more emotions. We've done that, kind of been there, done that, and we are done with not feeling our feelings, with gaslighting ourselves, with not trusting our desires, or, trying to like something that we don't actually like. And we also see the Page of Wands here. So as I'm pulling these cards here, this is kind of what I'm seeing as where you are and where you will be come the end of July, kind of what you're working towards. And what I see as a bridge here is the Ace of Cups. So with the Page of Wands, this is, again, another court card, another beginning kind of novice energy of feminine power. This specifically, Page of Wands, is all about intuition. It's about this fiery, passionate energy, and we see this radiant sun behind her, which is quite a contrast from like being kind of in the ocean here and being in the feelings. So one of the things that's coming up for me really strongly right now is that there's this shift of living in your emotions and being this, like, starting to feel your feelings and listen to them, to being able to trust your intuition. And that emotions and intuition are two different things. Emotions kind of are flowing day to day, but your intuition is this whisper that's coming from inside of you, that's coming from your soul, that gives you this like guiding compass as to where to go. It's a lot more trustworthy, and it's something that you want to make decisions from rather than your emotions, because your emotions give you information about what is going on in your life, right? There are these like signals. And I think for this Ace of Cups, it's kind of like using the power of emotions and releasing your fixation on actually like what is it that you're feeling, and like, if you feel sad or somebody makes you angry or whatever, and like kind of, oh, these emotions are bad, this must be bad for me, like I'm not having fun in my job, that must mean my job is bad, or this person is triggering in my life, that must mean this person is toxic. Those are like no longer going to be the ways that you think, but instead you're going to tap into what is the wisdom of that these emotions are trying to tell me, and get over just the surface level of what emotions feel like and like the discomfort of them. And that's going to allow you to actually tap into your intuition, because when we start to look at feelings and emotions as guidelines of like signals of results of the way that we are thinking or the way that we are perceiving, then we're able to use the wisdom from that to transmute into actions and lessons and ways of being to create more in our life. So I'm seeing that like there's going to be this like passionate energy that is coming through for you, and we have quite a lot of cards that came out. I'm just going to take the first card here, and this is the Star. So the Star is a time of respite, so this very much so balances with Fluorite being in your deck today. So the Star is a major arcana card that represents respite and rest after chaos, and this is also associated with Aquarius, the water bearer. And we see that there's this like tree that has been built, it is fruitful, and now it's just time to take a rest. So one of the ways that this is coming through for you is that maybe your entire life so far this year has felt like a roller coaster. It has been a challenge in you of all the different emotions that you've gone through, of trying to learn and grow and tapping into this higher version of yourself, that you want to live a very fulfilled life. You want to be loved and love others. You want to do good in the world. There's a lot of like this trying to be the best version of yourself that's coming through, that has also led you to potential emotional burnout. And now that you're starting to see some type of success in your life, whether this is that you've gotten the relationship that you wanted to have, or you have found a deeper level of forgiveness within yourself, you've been able to meet yourself in a better place for your mental health, for your physical well-being. Maybe you've been able to grow your career or your work wherever it is that you want to be. And now it's time to rest. Now it's time to find some respite for yourself and actually be very kind in receiving, because there has been a big upheaval, big transition that has happened, that is requiring you to balance those negative energies so that you can move forward without any hindrance of the past. One of the things I'm seeing come out for you also in the end of July is going to be the Knight of Crystals. So moving from the Page to the Knight is a really interesting hero's journey type of thing, because instead of being this optimistic novice with a lot of potential, now there is like this growth and this development of maturity where you can now fight for what it is that you want because you are clear in what it is that you want to create. So the Knight of Crystals is also known as the Knight of Swords. This is a card that's all about intellect. It's about using your mind to go after what it is that you want. So whether this represents you journaling and doing thought work, you cultivating the mindset that you need to go after what it is that you want. This is a very like fighting spirit card, especially it being the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Crystals in this deck. And it's riding a unicorn, which I think is so cool. It has its helmet on. It is like, you know, ready, is like in the midst of battle. It's not even ready for battle, it's in the midst of it. So just know by the end of July that this energy is going to be coming for you and like towards you, where I'm seeing a lot of like motivation because you have found what it is that you want and now it's just like full steam ahead. And this is going to help with like, you know, your transition from the Page of Wands into the Page of Crystals. So I'm seeing like this may be where you are now, where you are heading in the beginning of July, kind of going into this transition, and by the end of the month you're going to be in this fighting spirit where you are creating exactly what it is what you want with your thoughts especially. So remember, our thoughts create our realities, right? What we think is going to influence how we feel, which is going to give rise to our actions, everything we do and don't do, and that in turn is going to create results. So this next card that we have for you is the King of Stars. So this is what I'm seeing as potentially something that is in your current reality that you need to be aware of in order to make this transition. And I'm just also intuitively creating the spread. Like there is no specific intention here of like what the spread should look like. But as I'm seeing this come through, I'm almost seeing this as like a surface level conscious material world type of bridge. And then in the bottom here, more of the subconscious spiritual shadow work side that we might be seeing as the bridge for you to connect both mind, body, or all three, like mind, body, and spirit. So King of Stars here, you have a lot of court cards. You have a lot of different energies that you're taking from. I'm seeing this kind of as like you have these multitudes of personas within you right now that also might be warring each other, because in some places you feel like a novice, you feel like there's new potential, you feel not ready for things, maybe you feel very adventurous and like just open to whatever the world has to offer, open to this new journey. But at the same time, there is this desire to be a lot more grounded in yourself, and that's what the King of Stars represents here. This is the King of Pentacles, and this for me screams being financially stable, being stable in your like just day-to-day environment, knowing where you are is like where you're supposed to be, and knowing that you can provide for yourself. So King of Stars is going to be very pragmatic. They're going to be somebody who looks at the results of something. And I think as you go through this new journey, whatever this endeavor is for you, as you go through July, starting to evaluate, are you getting the results that you want to have in life? Because it's not just about like how you feel about something. It's not just about doing good and like following your intuition. You kind of already have that down and you're very aware of those things. But now we're looking at like your own personal life. Are you getting the results that you want to receive? Are you being able to care for yourself, have the stability that you want? And do you have that like fighting spirit, that motivation to help you get through the tough times? And I'm seeing with this, which is interesting, is that in order to bridge these two beings, right, this energy of grounded, very, divine masculine, of being able to provide for yourself, being able to be accountable, responsible, logical, pragmatic, etc., while also being able to fight for what you want and continuously build, you need to rest. You need to be in the star energy. And here's where you're going to be able to marry the divine feminine with the divine masculine, because we have right here, right, 2 pages, which is all about feminine energy, and then we have 2 masculine cards, which is the King and the Knight. And so to find this balance between yourself, to kind of blend all these together, let's see if there is some advice for you as well to bridge the conscious and subconscious, what you need to be aware of. We have the Page of Crystals. Okay, so got a lot of court cards here, and I want to pull one more to see how we can bridge the other end. And we have the 5 of Cups. Okay, So Five of Cups represents like this girl who has lost maybe love, maybe just like going through some grief, right? There is this big chaotic change. So we see that there is these three spilled cups that have come from this river. Perhaps she has just put in all this energy to gathering these 5 cups, and now there is some that has been lost and she is grieving that. I see that there for you might be something to do with you needing to give yourself time to grieve a loss of some sort, whether that is in your relationships, a relationship ending, or not, or being rejected, whether this is in your career, not having created what you want to create, or losing something, losing a job, losing opportunity, and to give yourself that space to feel into those feelings, because that is actually how you are going to be able to create more resiliency and tap into the divine masculine. Is that when you feel the pain of loss, of grief, of failure, you're able to transmute it further into rest and respite, as well as power and now this knowledge that you can create better decisions from a more pragmatic standpoint, instead of just, being in your feels, which I will be the first to be like, love feelings, go ahead and feel your feels, but also I will tell you that making decisions just purely from feelings is not going to get you or guarantee you the results that you want. So finding that balance here. Page of Crystals is going to be the Page of Swords. So we have another feminine, youthful energy card here. Seeing a lot of this for you. So don't be afraid to tap into your childlike wonder in July and to like have some fun. Page of Crystals is the newness of like thought, of new thought, new paradigms, new ways of thinking. And so we have this interesting transition from the Page of Wands to the Page of Crystals, and then the Knight of Crystals. So this seems like a very clear transition of like you're changing suits, you're using your intuition and marrying it with the logical side of yourself, being able to match their critical thinking energy so that you can create more motivation for yourself and more drive, more resolve, perhaps giving yourself a plan even so that you can just go ahead and charge forward. So after you've done this aspect of what July is asking you to do, of to feel your feelings, feel your losses, and to get the messages that you need, and to start seeing emotions as something that you can partner with, then transition into using your intuition and using your mind to create the results that you really want to create. This is the big overall message for you for July. I hope you have found it helpful. And I do want to pull one final card for you as a message from the universe, from your spirit guides, what you just need to know or do or understand about your situation. And we have set intentions. So this is an action card. I need you to actually write down your intentions for July. And especially with this kind of being a more ambiguous spread for you, however reason like this has come to be, this is what it is. And this is all happening for you, right? I think with the ambiguity, there is this need for you to set this intention, for you to take more action in your life, not from a standpoint of like you need to do more, but to be more intentional with where your energy is going, because this can be kind of applied to multiple domains of your life, right? And what are the seeds that you want to plant, because those are going to be what come into bloom as you go through July, as you go through the rest of this year. And so make sure you take some time to set some intentions for yourself. My friends, if you want some further guidance in this, if you want some coaching, because I see that there's this need to kind of reestablish, and then you're going through a lot of transitions for yourself. If you want some guidance and coaching, all my links are going to be down in the description box, and you can reach out to me to do a consultation or to do a one-on-one tarot reading for yourself to get clear on what your soul is trying to tell you and to guide you into this next direction. I am bringing up coaching though, because from what I'm seeing in this is a very big kind of like ambiguous spread. Like this is a journey of your soul. There's so many core cards here with the pages and different suits and the king as well. And I think one of the fallacies that we go through that make our life harder is this idea that we have to do it all on our own, that we have to figure it all out on our own. And kind of with all the imagery here being like one singular focal point, except for the Knight of Crystals, which is where by the end of July you will be, I see this like partnership energy where there's this horse, there's this unicorn that is this companion to the knight, and it's helping them move further along in their journey to be able to set those intentions and also be able to create the results. So that's why I'm also bringing up coaching for you, because intuitively it just feels right. Go ahead and explore more about that and learn more about how this can support you in showing up for yourself day to day and also give you this long-term return on being able to feel very grounded in who you are, what it is that you want, and how you can get there. So that once you learn these skills, you don't have to relearn them. You just get to keep rebuilding on or building on top of those things and creating more and more results for yourself. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and book a call with me. If you enjoyed your reading today, please go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your July energy reading. You've chosen the Child of the Universe Oracle deck as well as the Amethyst crystal. So the Amethyst here is a crystal that is associated with your third eye, with your crown chakra. It is about opening up and also protecting your energy, your thoughts, your mind, and your connection with your spirit. That is what I'm seeing a lot for you here. And you choosing the Oracle deck is very interesting because this is not traditional tarot. So we're going to see just kind of like what are the messages that want to come through for you as we go through July. I want to see first and foremost, where are you currently? And we have stability and direction. So this is reversed. This is also associated with the number 4. So this being reversed, I'm seeing for you, you're perhaps really confused in where you are in life. Maybe you're not feeling quite stable. Maybe you're in a transition. You don't really know what you want. Maybe you've done some self-reflection on, whether or not your career is creating enough impact for you, or your relationship is satisfying, or if the things that you want are even the things that you want anymore, and why do you want those things? Maybe your desires have shifted. So I'm seeing this like kind of complete upheaval of where your internal directional compass is that's keeping you stuck and stagnant. And what's interesting with this being with Amethyst as well is that Amethyst is here to protect, right? It's here to kind of clear away what other people might be saying, any negative energies that might be within you as well, to give you that clarity of this is you and this is where you need. So the next card for you is Cultivate Strength. So I'm seeing this, just like putting it right here. There is some strength that you need internally in order to choose a direction. I'm getting that this confusion that you're going through right now is not necessarily just coming from these external circumstances of like, maybe moving, breakups, new relationships, new career path, whatever it is. It's not just in that, but it's also just within your mentality and your energy that there is some strength that is needed for you in order to really trust yourself as you move forward. You might be keeping yourself stuck because you don't want to make a decision, because you don't want to face the truth. And if you don't want to face the truth, there's no way for you to live an authentic life. You're not going to be able to be very fulfilled. The next card I have for you is Cycles and Phases. And Cycles and Phases is associated with the number 9. So this is all about transitions. And so we have 4, and then we have 8 here, and then we have 9. So with the 9 card, I'm seeing that the like kind of ending of cycles, and so you need to tie up loose ends. Know that as you grow, as you change, it's okay to feel like unstable, but that doesn't mean that you stop doing things. It doesn't mean that you stop asking yourself questions. It doesn't mean that you stop being who you currently are at, and that it's okay to kind of be mush, right? It's okay to kind of be in the soup, so to speak, because you are always going to be in the cyclical nature of cycles and phases. In tarot, this might be associated with the wheel, which is actually number 10 in tarot, but the wheel represents kind of this cyclical nature that we go through in life, where we go through death, we go through birth, we go through success, we go through failure, we go through hard times, and we go through good times. And just knowing for you in your own individual life and in your growth currently, that you might be in a cycle of instability, of rockiness, of not knowing, of like unclarity of like where you want to be. But as you cultivate strength and as you give yourself compassion for being in this phase, if you don't let that stop you from actually going out there and trying new things, of meeting new people, perhaps you're in a new cycle and phase of your own self-love journey, of finding a romantic partner and whatnot. Don't let the instability of not knowing what it is that you truly want in a partner or with yourself, or what you want in your career, don't let that stop you from showing up for yourself and doing things that you do like, or meeting people or talking to people. So often a lot of our growth comes from being able to interact with others and learn from others more about ourselves, because we can always see, the good and the bad parts of ourselves reflected in others. One thing I see here within full moon for you is that there is going to be a big change. And this big change is going to be very positive. It's going to bring in abundance for you. It's going to bring in happiness for you. And it's going to allow you to feel very full, right? Just like this card represents. And that's going to come through more so when you do cultivate the strength, when you do just go forward and find the direction that you want to go. I want to get to know more about like also where is like this area of life that has been a big challenge for you and how can you get out of that. So as far as like where in your life, we see cosmic reflection. So another 9 card here for you. So a lot of like tying up loose ends. I'm seeing that you're at the end of a cycle currently, and moving into July, we see that there's going to be newer, better, bigger things that are coming towards you, but you have to go through this phase of feeling disoriented for a bit so that you can get clarity on where it is that you want to go. And not just clarity, but like also be able to deal with not having to know everything, not having everything to be perfect, not having to know if like, you know, the effort that you're going to put into something is going to return, if, you know, somebody is worth it or not. There is a lot of like this, you know, partner with the not knowing and just let it happen. Like trust the process here. And within cosmic reflection, we see like this need for you to look deeper within yourself, to reflect on what is it that your soul wants for you. What is it that your soul is trying to guide you to do? And this being reversed here is I'm seeing that there's a blockage of energy here. Whether you are, you know, these two being both reversed, I think are very telling. The only reason why, I don't want to say only, but the huge reason why you feel blocked and confused, conflicted, disconnected currently, and you feel directionless, you're questioning whether or not you're creating the results that you want to create in your life, whether or not you're in the right place or not, whether or not something is going to pay off, is because you're not truly listening to yourself. You're not truly seeing yourself for all the power that you have, for all the grace that you have, for all the gifts that you have, as well as for all the desires that you have. You're here meant to be able to share your soul, be able to share your spirit with other people, but you can only do that when you see yourself. So I'm seeing like a cycle of self-doubt also be ending here, this disillusionment to who you thought you were, and transitioning into being this much stronger version of yourself that you are not seeing currently. Within this card, I see Virgo, and I want to put this over here. So I think some Virgo is going to show up in your life that's going to allow you to see kind of your growth. Whether or not Virgo is in a person or not, I think this is also asking you to take on a little bit more of Virgo's traits. And Virgo is an earth sign. It's a sign that deals with stability or with really great organization. It is a very grounding card as well. And it also represents like the Virgin, like this newness, right? So for you to kind of go about your life in this new way, perhaps with more structure, with more organization intact, is to, you know, admitting to yourself first of where you want to be, what you really want in life, so that you can have that goal kind of orient you and take off the blindfold, so to speak, so that you can direct your efforts, your strengths, and your abundance and call that in. And by doing so, right, I want you to keep in mind that you can do so with some more structure, not just as like journaling and manifesting and stuff, but actually setting out like concrete things that you can do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, whether this is going on a date each week, whether this is creating a new video each week, you know, to help your business, whether this is talking to somebody new and tracking your progress, whether this is like with your health and your weight, or where you want to physically be, being able to track your progress in a numerical way too. There's some kind of like objectiveness that wants to come through for you in July. It's going to help you get to where you want to be. Another thing here in cause and effect, this is the number 11, which is the master number of like new beginnings. So I'm going to put this over here, and the way that I see this come through is like there's some time for you to reflect, right, on yourself as far as what cycle and phase that you are in your life, in order to create some more direction of where you want to go, so that you can put in the strength and effort to create the abundance that is for you, and to finally have a structure that you can rely on, so you don't have to feel so unstable anymore. And at the root of this, I see cause and effect of understanding for yourself. What are the actions that you take, and then what happens as a result of that? What are the thoughts that you're thinking? And then how does that affect your feelings? How does that affect the results that you get? Because thoughts create your results, right? And without having the mental clarity, the mindset, and the decision-making skills that you need in order to see yourself as someone who is deserving of love, who is not so different from the successful, happy person that you might see on social media, to also see the effects of things like social media, or the foods that you're eating, or how much sunlight you're getting, or where you're living, the people that you're surrounded with, the person that you're dating, right? What are the true causes and effects of all these things that you hold in the palm of your hand? And just know that things cannot grow, things cannot evolve if you are not seeing how you are in power with your life. Another thing that I will note here is also to know where you can let go of some control, because there is, you know, this idea here with like the sun and the moon and all these stars, and then another hand holding the mountain, is that you don't live in a bubble, right? You don't live in a vacuum here. Everything that we do has a ripple effect on the people around us, on our communities, on society at large. And another thing to be aware of is like, what is your impact on the world? And is this something that you want for yourself? You know, are you a good influence in your community, in your friends? How are the people around you affecting you? On another note here too is letting go of the control, because there are so many things that we don't have control over, like the weather or what the universe has in store for us. If you believe in religion and God, like, you know, kind of like, what is God's plan for you? Well, you might not know until you actually go through it. So also knowing the cause and effect there of, you know, when things are not in flow, how is this actually for you? Maybe this is here to protect you. Maybe you're not getting everything that you want because you're not ready for it yet, because there's some growth here that you still need to do, because it's not in the way that you're supposed to be doing it. If you're trying to hustle and grind your way to success, and that's not the way that you actually believe success can be achieved, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be achieved for you, you're going to find a lot of blocks, even though you feel like you're trying really, really hard. So also be open to new perspectives of like causes and effects here, because when your energy is blocked, when you are feeling forceful, when you are trying to force things into happening, you know, that is not letting this natural cause and effect chain happen. And when you let it be more natural, everything starts to flow, and you're able to create better understanding, self-awareness, and structures, and just have a much more flowing life for you. So that is everything that has come through for you in this reading. I want to pull one last card that the universe wants you to know, do, or help you make sense of your situation. And we have peace. So peace is a knowing card. It's just something that you need to know for yourself as you go through life, and kind of like looking into your current situation, right? That there is harmony and contentment available to you, that they're in a phase right now where peace is available to you. Oh, I also love the purple. But one thing that you need to know here with peace is that even though things might not feel stable right now, even though things might feel hard, even though you're going to need to cultivate some strength here and whatnot, that you are fundamentally going to be at peace, that all these things are being brought up for you because you are starting to prioritize your inner peace, that you are deserving of it, that it wants to find you, and maybe you're seeking peace. So using this also as a guide for you coming in July of like, is this taking away from or adding to your peace? Is this going to give rise to my peace or take away from it? So whether this is things like looking at small like morning routine things of like not being on your phone in the morning, leaving it in a different room. Perhaps this is within your communication style. Instead of feeling triggered and wanting to argue, allowing people who have naturally like better communication skills to come into your life, for you to be able to not be so triggered, and for you to communicate peacefully and honestly as well. So this can come through in a lot of different ways. Also, like in your career and your money, you know, how can you be at peace with the money that you have to feel enough as is, and to know that if you desire more, you can go ahead and create more? How can you be more peaceful when you spend money as well, to thank money for coming in and also going out in your life? Whether this is a bill that you have to pay or a cookie that you want to buy, you can be at peace with the money and the flow of money, the energy of money as well, especially if that's something that you're trying to manifest and create more direction in your life in. I know a lot of people want to orient themselves to create more money so that we can have more energy, do more things in our life, but we do it in such a frantic way that takes away from our peace, instead of solving for how can we maintain our peace as we go through it, so that the entire process of making money, spending money, having money, sharing money, donating money, all of that stuff becomes something that is very harmonious and makes us feel content within ourselves. So that is everything for your reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you want to give yourself some space to dive deeper into your soul and listen to the whispers of your soul, to get guidance there, to create more clarity and connection so that you can move forward with this ease and flow, that you're going in the right direction, you can go ahead and sign up for a one-on-one call with me and do a reading. You're going to be able to be grounded in a meditation that's going to connect you to earth, to your spirit, as well as cosmic consciousness. You're going to have access to my own personal guidance as well, from a pragmatic side to give you some life coaching, as well as the spiritual side to hear what are the advice and the interpretations that the cards have for you, so that you can have the best of both worlds and actually integrate all these meanings and changes into your life, so that you're not just stopping at you receive the messages, you're actually integrating that. So all the information to book a reading with me is going to be down in the description box, and I hope to see you then. Until next time, friends, stay well.